Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 938A, and today's date is April 6, 2016, and the title of the episode is, The Demonization of Gold is Being Used to Keep People from Acquiring It. Let's get right into the economic collapse financial news. Now, every day we look at these economic indicators, things are continually deteriorating very quickly, and we see that the U.S. companies, not just in the U.S., but worldwide, we're seeing continuous layoffs. There's an update for U.S. Steel. They're going to be laying off 25% of the salaried workforce. Fiat Chrysler, they're going to be laying off about 1,300 people. Mass Mutual, 100 people. Miller Coors is going to cut jobs starting June 30th. And we hear Nokia, they're going to be eliminating between 10 to 15,000 positions. Now, if we look at this, we notice that things are accelerating at this point. More and more companies are coming out and announcing they're laying off people. Now, once again, I have always said this in the past, where are these people going to find work? This is why we're seeing the manipulation of the job numbers, because these people, they can't find work. They look for a while. They haven't been on an interview. The government counts them as fallen off, even though they might be still looking online all the time, going to headhunters, but they just haven't gotten a response. Even if they send out a resume, a lot of people don't get response, and a lot of people say there's no place to send it. And this is why we've seen the part-time jobs take off, because people can't find the full-time, high-paying jobs. And we're starting to see more and more stores close down. We're seeing Ovation brand restaurants like Ryan's Old Country Buffet, Hometown Buffet. They're getting rid of 74 of them. Hancock Fabrics is closing 70 stores. And this is a continuing trend where retail is continually contracting at this point. Now, we talk about real estate quite a bit, and of course, the corporate media, the U.S. government, the central bankers are trying to convince us that real estate has bounced back. It's doing so much better. But every time we look at it, we see the opposite. We see construction spending falling, new construction declining, existing home sales declining. Home sales have gone nowhere. Back in 2013, when Obama was in Phoenix, Arizona, of August of 2013, when he was making the announcement that the housing market is back on track, nothing to worry about. At the same time, we know that the mortgage departments of J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America were laying off thousands upon thousands of people because they knew at that point that the American people are sitting on the sidelines and they're not going to be taking out mortgages. They're going to depend on the free money hedge funds, investment companies to go in and purchase up thousands upon thousands of homes. They're hoping that foreign investors would come in and purchase homes. Well, things are drastically declining at this point, and Obama and his administration, they're making a huge push now to make home loans available to people with even weaker credit than before. They are working to get banks to lend to a wider range of borrowers by taking advantage of the taxpayer-backed programs, including those offered by the Federal Housing Administration that ensure home loans against default. So on the one hand, the Obama administration is out there saying that, we've cleaned up the financial system, we have recovered, everything is fine, people are buying again. And on the other hand, he's saying, well, we're going to give loans to subprime people right now to help them purchase homes. Now, the only reason the government steps in like this and brings in more people into a certain program that has to do with loaning money is to increase the bubble. Because remember, the American people, they don't have the funds, they don't have the jobs. And the banks are a little bit nervous loaning these funds to these people. So it's great news for the banks, because what they're going to do is they're going to insure or guarantee the loans, allow the banks to make more loans, and they will make profit. And of course, when everything falls apart, what happens? The government makes up the difference. Actually, the taxpayers make up the difference. So we can see at this point, they're doing this to push the bubble even further because they're starting to realize that the free money, the hedge funds, investment companies that are purchasing, it's not enough at this point. They need Americans. Remember, most of the bubbles that we're seeing right now are central bank bubbles. The Americans are sitting on the sidelines and they're starting to realize they can't keep this up. They need the Americans to come in. Now, there are certain things they can control, especially things with loans like auto loans, housing, student loans. But things like people going out and purchasing retail, well, yeah, people can use credit cards, but most of the time people say, you know something, I don't have the funds, I'm not going to do it. And we can see right now that they're trying to control this market, but I don't think it's going to help at this point. I think it's a little too late. I think the people at this point are completely tapped out. Too many people are losing jobs, and the people out in the market right now, there might be a few, but most of them are going to step back and say, you know something, I'm just going to wait because I'm starting to see housing prices come down. The market doesn't look too good. People have houses on the market for a very long time, and they're doing this because they realize the bubble is popping, and they're trying to keep it inflated. Now, Puerto Rico, they have just passed a bill on Wednesday that will suspend debt payments until January of 2017. Now, Puerto Rico handed the control of their federal bond sales to Wall Street executives. And the Wall Street executives tacked on hundreds of millions in fees for their services. And Puerto Rico's sitting there going, well, we couldn't pay it before. Do you really think with the fees tacked on, we can pay it now? So they're suspending all debt and all the fees and everything else because basically Puerto Rico is bankrupt. They have nothing left. They are completely done. Now, something very interesting. In Greece, we see that on the Greek-Turkish border, the government confiscated individuals trying to smuggle gold over the border into Turkey. And they confiscated 18 bars of unrefined gold, weighing about 33.5 kilos. And they're saying that there were 4 crosses made of pure gold. And the value of the gold was about 800,000 euros. Now, the question is, who in Turkey wanted this gold, or was it people in Greece trying to escape with their wealth? But the government has confiscated it, and now they have it. So we'll have to look at that situation and see how that turns out. Now, the New York Times is out there, and it looks like they're demonizing gold at this point. It looks like the corporate media is jumping on the bandwagon, and they're showing Osama bin Laden saying that, you know, he was a gold bug. And we see why they're doing it at this point, because what's going to happen from this point on is that gold is going to start to rise. We're going to see it rise 10, then 25, then 35. And they're going to try to keep the people out of the market. They're going to try to tell people, listen, only criminals, terrorists, and those type of people would actually go buy gold. So don't do it. Because what happens when everyone goes and tries to purchase gold, I'm talking about the physical gold, the price goes up. And when people start seeing the price go up, that's exactly what's going to happen. So they're already starting the propaganda out there. They're trying to convince everyone that I wouldn't go out and purchase gold. And if you haven't purchased gold or silver or any type of precious metals at this time, this would be a good time to do it. Now, I do not sell it whatsoever. I purchase it myself. I know a lot of people are hurting today. I know people don't have the funds. I'm with you. Some days I only purchase 2 silver eagles. Some months I only purchase 4 silver eagles. Sometimes I only purchase 1 silver eagle. Sometimes I save up enough and I can purchase 1/10 of gold. But I've been doing this for quite a while. So I have amassed quite a bit of gold and silver at this point because I did a little bit at a time. But if you haven't done it in the past, I would start now. Do it before everything goes and falls apart. Now, Obama is trying to bring in as many illegal immigrants as he possibly can, as we know. And we talked about this many, many times, about how he wants to give them working papers. He wants them to take out loans. They're trying to keep the economy going with the lower end people who don't have debt yet, who are willing to purchase a car, who are willing to take out a student loan, who are willing to take the lower paying jobs. And we see right now that Obama is trying to push the idea, well, I shouldn't say the idea, he's trying to push those illegal immigrants into getting Social Security and all other type of benefits. And we can see right now that he created an executive order, the executive branch unilaterally created program known as DAPA, D-A-P-A, Deferred Action for Parental Accountability. This is for undocumented immigrants. Parents have an opportunity to avoid deportation with the Deferred Action Parental Accountability Program initiated by President Obama. And this goes to about 4 million unlawfully present aliens in the United States. Now, I have no problem with people coming into the United States. The United States was built on immigrants, but there was a process. So it's almost like, okay, if I snuck into a movie theater without paying for a ticket, the usher comes over and says, oh, you snuck in? Okay, no problem. Have a seat. You can watch it for free. This is what Obama's trying to tell us. You know, all those people that paid, we're just going to let him in for free, no checks, no nothing, because he made it through. Obama's saying if you make it over the border, you're allowed to stay in the country. No problem, no hassle. We'll give you working papers. We'll give you Social Security benefits, Medicare, whatever you need. Well, this is a problem. There's a reason for borders. There's a reason for the checks. It's to keep, of course, terrorists out, if you believe in that. It's to keep criminals out, murderers, rapists, those people that might have diseases. There's a reason why there are borders. This is why each and every one of these countries has borders. Now, if we don't need borders and we're just letting everyone in, let's just get rid of them. But they won't do that. So this whole plan of them bringing it in is to keep their system propped up. It's not to benefit the people. It's not to benefit anyone, because we have a structure in place where we allow a certain number of people in. But they want to let in millions because they need it to keep the system alive. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.